Everybody, it's Tressa. I hope you're doing well today. Well, tonight it's actually in the evening, as you can probably tell by the light. But I'm gonna make something that we eat pretty often here, and it's baby lima beans with sausage. Now, the only thing is, for years I've been cooking on the stove. Now I have the Instant Pot, and I've only cooked them a couple of times in the Instant Pot. But I'm gonna try it tonight and bring you along, and hopefully I won't add too much water, and they'll come out just right, or you can always thicken them. But let's get started, and I hope you enjoy. And sometimes when I'm feeling a little lazy or like I need some energy, it seems like the beans kind of help me get more energy. They make me feel better. But we eat them over rice, of course, because we're in Louisiana, so everything's over rice. But let's get started. I like to prep everything before I start. So I have my red onion, and I have my, can you see that, garlic? And I like to use, if you watch any of my videos, you know I like to use red and yellow. And I will also leave out just a little bit of raw onion because I like to eat raw onion with my beans. And I forgot to mention that I will be adding sausage to this. And I'll show you the kind of sausage I'm going to use. Now, one thing I'd like to say is I do not like to add the sausage into the Instant Pot. I like to cook them separately. I find they get a little mushy when they're in the pressure cooker. But I'm just chopping these vegetables, and then we're going to throw everything in the pot and get it started. But I just wanted to show you this step. If I were going to use the sausage in the Instant Pot, I would put those in now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cook them separately, as I said before. And you don't have to do this. You can just dump everything in and cook it. But I'm going to saute the onions and the bell pepper for just a couple of minutes, not long. And I know there's people that say you should salt your beans after. Some people say before. I just kind of salt them whenever I feel like, and they always come out the same, so I don't really worry about it. Here's some red, yellow, and orange bell pepper I cut up in last September. I got them on sale, and I chopped them up, and instead of dehydrating, I froze them. So I'm just going to add a handful of these. I don't like a lot of bell pepper, but I like this nice, oh, that's a big one, nice color. And here's the beans, or the baby llamas. And I just went through and picked out, there wasn't really any bad ones in here. And it doesn't matter which brand you use, in my opinion. Let's add a couple more pieces of bell pepper. And I added 1.5 onions. They were on the larger side. So I'm going to saute these for a few minutes. I'm probably going to add a little salt and pepper. Oh, and also I'm going to add my garlic. And I'm going to add about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I really like the garlic in them. But I'll be back once these are sauteed. Show you my garlic. I chopped about 8 cloves. And I like to put it in here and store it in the refrigerator for, it keeps for a couple of days. So I'm just going to use about half of this. You can also use garlic powder. So it looks about right. That's a lot of vegetables in there. I'm still learning exactly how much water to put, because I like them creamy. I don't like them soupy too much. And if you do put too much water, you can still just cook them down on saute for a while, really thicken up. Okay, I'll be back because I forgot another ingredient. I apologize. But I have a frozen jalapeno, and I'm just going to add probably 1 whole one. Actually, because I didn't label this back, I had to taste it to see if it was the jalapeno, and it definitely is. My mouth's on fire now, so I'm just going to add a little. But they're sweating down, and that's really all I'm looking for. I put a little salt and pepper. I like to season every layer. And that's getting close. I'm ready to start adding everything in. I'm going to add this is 1 pound of beans. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I have 4 cups of water. We're going to see. We're going to need a little bit more. And I'm using filtered water. Let me see. Let me stir this. I think I'm only going to add, let me see. This is 2. I think I'm only going to add 1 more. We'll see. It should be fine. So that's 5 cups of water. I know some people say to add 6. Now I'm going to season them up a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of Tony Chachere's, a little bit of my dehydrated celery, about a teaspoon or a tablespoon, and a little garlic powder. I really like this garlic powder right here. And we always add hot sauce. Hope these aren't too spicy. A little more salt and pepper. And I have a combination of pink salt and kosher salt. I like to mix them. And beans need quite a bit of salt. And you could totally make this vegetarian and leave the sausage out. A little bit of black pepper. And I learned from Noreen's Kitchen that you must add a tablespoon of some kind of oil, like vegetable oil. I have canola oil, about a tablespoon, or it will bubble over. So I got that. And it's still on saute. I'm not sure if I should add 1 more cup of water. I'm probably gonna have to cook them down. I'm gonna add 1 more cup. So that's 7 cups. 6 cups, I'm sorry, 6. And that looks about right. I think it's gonna be just perfect. So I'm gonna cancel it off of saute. Put the lid on. Oh, I forgot my parsley. I like a lot of parsley. Whoops. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm in a hurry today. It's kind of late and I go to bed pretty early. But that's why you love the Instant Pot, because it cooks it way faster. So put the lid on. And then you always want to put it on sealing. And I'm going to press the, I don't know if I can show you. I'm going to press the bean button. And that says 18 minutes. That's not long enough. I'm going to do 40 minutes. And I think that's what I did last time. So I'll see you. Well, next we're gonna slice up the sausage and brown. You can use any smoked sausage you like. I've shown this before. This is the brand that I use most of the time. No, this one is pork and beef smoked sausage, and I could not find that today at the Kroger, so I bought the pork green onion. I'm only gonna be using 1 link. I usually use 1 pound per pound of beans. We like it pretty meaty. We eat it, as a main dish. So I'm going to slice these, and then I'm going to put them brown them in the pan. And when the pressure comes down off the beans, I'm going to put the sausage in and saute it together for just a few minutes to get the sausage infused better. But I'm going to slice this, and then we're going to start browning it, and I'll show you how I'm slicing them. Sometimes I slice them differently, but I'm slicing them about this thick and on the diagonal, so they won't be huge pieces. But I'm going to throw these in the skillet. I have a little bit of olive oil in my pan. And it's not heated up yet, but it will be. And I'll show you once I'm done browning them. Browning of the sausage. And I wanted to also mention that besides going meatless, you can also use tasso, which is a smoked ham, I believe. It's delicious. It's a little expensive though. Or you could use ham. You could use bacon. My mom used to use bacon a lot in her lima beans. But you can just use whatever you feel like using. Those beans go well with quite a few meats, actually. And sometimes I add carrots when I'm cooking them on the stove. I didn't add them today because I would have to do 2 cook times in the Instant Pot. But I also like to add carrots to the beans. It's a nice flavor too, just to get some more vegetables in. So this is the step I'm in, and I'll be back to show you. That's as much as I'm going to brown them. That's good enough, and they're starting to stick. But these are already seasoned, and they're fully cooked. So I'm just giving them a little crispness. And if you put them in the Instant Pot, it loses that. So the sausage is done. We're just waiting on the beans. Release the pressure, and I opened them. And now I'm going to put them, cancel it, and put them on saute. And they need to cook down a little bit, actually. I could have put a little less water. I'm going to add my sausage in and let that go. And let this thicken up just a little bit. I'm going to probably do it for about 30 minutes. And I'll turn it on low because it was just boiling out of control. If I did this again, which I really need to write this down, I'm going to only use 5 cups of water, not 6. They're still delicious and creamy, and they're salted enough, they're seasoned enough. So I'm going to, since it's getting late, I'm going to go ahead and turn them off, and we'll dish up some and do a taste test for you. Okay, excuse the way I look, it's really late in my bedtime, but I like to eat them with a little bit of this, something with vinegar, or raw onion and vinegar. And it's very hot. I don't know if you can see. I can't angle it very well. But this is like one of our staples, actually. We eat this quite often, but I am learning the Instant Pot cooking, because for years I cooked them on the stove. So and I also added a little hot sauce. But let's take a bite of sausage too. See, it's very hot. So good. And they're so good homemade. When you make them yourself, they're just so good. I've never eaten them in a can, actually. And I find that this food makes me have more energy the next day. Well, I hope I didn't talk too much in this video, but I really enjoyed making it. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. And try this recipe. I think you'll like it. You have a good day.